Hello and welcome to Nick's Allotment Diary.
It's now May and it's time for a plot tour. Starting in this bed, I've got a couple of rows of potatoes. From memory, this one's Anya. I can't remember what the other variety was. I can't find the row marker, it's been buried. But I will get some potatoes this year. Over to here we've got a row of Ailsa Craig onions along the side there. And then we've got the garlic. So we've got some Casablanca garlic on this side. A couple of rows of Thermodrome and elephant garlic. I did notice the garlic scapes, these curved flowers. They are the flowering parts of the garlic. You can snap those off and cook with them. I believe they are pretty delicious. Also noticed the elephant garlic is starting to produce them as well. I guess the others probably will. I'm pretty pleased with the garlic so far. It doesn't seem to have got too much rust as yet. Probably because we've had such a dry spring. Over to this bed, we've got a row of shallots here. And this is where I've planted all my brassicas. Had to net them because the first row that I put in, I forgot to net them and the pigeons got them. And there's plenty of pigeons around here. So we've got broccoli, it's broccoli marathon, kale, purple sprouting broccoli and golden acre cabbages. So we've got quite a few different brassicas in this bed. Hopefully they should pick up. They were only planted out last weekend. They've been in about a week. Over to the bed with the plum tree. We have had a lot of wind the last couple of days. A lot of twigs and leaves have blown off the plum tree. Quite a few of the little baby plums have come down. But I have had a look up into the tree and there are still plums in the tree, so it hasn't blown them all down. That's good. Here we have the blackberry, thornless blackberry. That's been flowering away. That's got loads of flowers on it, so I should expect quite a bit of fruit if I can get to it before the blackbirds do. Over to the middle bed. This is the no-dig bed. It's got my onions in it at the moment and a couple of stray sunflowers that are self-seeded now. So the onions are looking pretty good, not very big yet, but these were the ones that were done from seed, so they will be a little bit later than some of the people that are growing onions from sets. I'm hoping I'm not going to get leaf miner. I have noticed a couple of leaves, for example that one that's sort of looking a bit wrinkly. I don't know whether that is a sign of leaf miner, hopefully not. Over to this bed. This is the one that had all the brassicas in over the winter, and it's very cracked. Before I filmed, I have given this bed a big soak with the hose because I'm planning to dig it over This is where I plan to have the climbing French beans this year. This side I did do a little bit of digging the other day, but it was like concrete, the soil. It's very clay here, and because this is left over the winter and it isn't a no-dig bed, it has dried out quite a lot and quite hard, so I'm going to give it a good dig over this one for this year, and then this one will become no dig over the winter, as will the bed that I've currently got the garlic and the potatoes in. That will be the last two beds that will become no dig beds. Talking of no dig, this is one of the other no dig beds. I have planted spuds in, so I did have to get my trowel out to get the spud down below the surface. I haven't just laid them on the surface, I have actually planted these. But the soil in this one is nice and crumbly. It is moist about 4 or 5 inches down. This bed will probably have my squash and pumpkins in this year. It's had brassicas, which have now gone to seed, so these are going to come out in the next week, and this bed will then be ready for the squashes and pumpkins. Over to the flower bed. Loads of lovely orange calendula. This bed hasn't been weeded, so there's lots of weeds that do need to be dug out. Rose bushes. Show you this rose is starting to flower now. Did get a bit of frost last week, and that has affected a few of the leaves, I think, with the new leaves, but it'll recover from this, no problem, and hopefully it should get plenty of blooms. This was where I had the sunflowers last year, and as you can see, there's quite a few self-seeded sunflowers in this bed, which will be some of the seed from last year, different varieties. So I'm going to leave those in and let them grow up, and obviously I just need to give this bed a weed before I plant out the main sunflowers that I've been growing in the greenhouse. They'll grow in this bed too. This will be my sunflower bed. And now the herbs. They're doing well. Rosemary looking a little bit yellow. Some thyme there. Lavender, curry plant, and some nice chives. I love the flowers of chives. Look at those, beautiful colour, and the bees absolutely love them. And then over this side we have oregano and lemon balm. Into the fruit cage. As you can see, it's still very dry, not having much rain at all. The soil is pretty cracked in here. So I have got the fruit bushes that I transplanted. Some of them haven't done very well. They haven't liked being transplanted. I transplanted them at the wrong time, unfortunately. But I think they will pick up, starting to produce new leaves. Then we have the red currants, a few of those on this bush, and gooseberry. That is a variety of blueberry called Pink Lemonade that hasn't done very well at all for me over the last few years. I'm not sure whether to plant that back into the bed or not, probably not. And then along this side I've got the blackcurrant bushes. Now these are looking not too good. That one there's the best of the four. Again though, plenty of new leaves coming on them, so I think they've survived the transplant okay. What I'll do is give them a good feed this year to boost them up, and then hopefully they should be back to producing again next year. Thornless blackberry in this pot here. Again, I'm not sure to put that one back in this fruit cage. I'm trying to keep it relatively clear so that I can get to stuff this year and next year. Cherry tree. That doesn't seem to have any cherries on this year. It did have a little bit of blossom, but no, that's not done that well. Then we have a standard red currant. This produces its flowers before it produces any leaves. You'll notice there are a few little fruit coming. So I think that one's going to be alright. That one's going to go in the ground soon as well. I've had quite a bit of success in clearing bindweed, but you can see I've definitely missed some, so those are going to need to be dug out. Into the greenhouse, mainly got tomatoes and sunflowers in the greenhouse. I've got a few different varieties. That one's black opal. I've also got cocktail crush. That's related to the crimson crush family. Talking of tomatoes, an update on the tomatoes that I've grown from seed from a supermarket tomato. These are the piccolo cherry tomato seeds. Got 6 nice little plants there. They'll be ready to be potted on in a few days' time into individual pots. It's been about just under a month, 4 weeks since these have been planted. I'm pretty pleased with those, really. Hopefully, although the tomato might not be exactly the same as the parent tomato, it will be a cherry tomato, and I'm sure they'll be nice and sweet. I also have some pumpkins. I've got some dwarf pumpkins this year. That one's a variety called Hooligan, and there's another one called Jack Be Little. So those will be going out maybe in about a week or so's time, once I've had a chance to prepare a bed for those to go into. Over to the sunflowers. So these are sunflowers. That one's Harlequin. We've got tall timbers there at the back. Giraffe, big tall one. These will need just potting on once more before they go out. Probably I'll put those out in a week or so's time. And here's the variegated sunflower that you saw on the last video. This is the tall timbers variegated variety. Never have I grown a variegated one before. It wasn't one I bought specifically as variegated, it was just a seed amongst the packet. And then we've got Earthwalker there, and Valentine at the back. In the bed on the opposite side I've got a cucumber there. This one is a variety called Mini F1. I bought that as a plant, haven't grown it myself. I am growing some cucumber plants at home for the greenhouse at home. I've put this one in here at the allotment. Then we have one of the cocktail crush tomatoes that needs its side shoots removing. You can see, don't know if you can see there between the leaves, you need to pinch those out in this variety. It's not a bush variety, so it's a one that grows as an indeterminate. And then we have a red pepper. Just about see, looks like there's a bud coming there at the top. We have another tomato here. This is the Wenzel beefsteak tomato. Had these seeds from Southpaw Davy, and these are going to be big tomatoes. And also that one over there is a King of the North pepper. So that's not very big yet, but I believe they do grow to a pretty big size. We'll now just cover fruit trees and bushes. This is the pear tree. It did have some blossom on, but it doesn't look like it's set any pears this year. Just a bit of a shame, because I did get about half a dozen last year. It looks like it's been affected by aphids a bit. But we did have had a dry spring, so it may be that that's affected it. Over to the apple tree. This one fruited really heavily last year, and I think I allowed it to have too much fruit. So there's very little fruit that's been set on this one this year. There are some at the end of the branch, and a few up there. But this one doesn't have many apples on this year. But never mind, the other apple tree that I've got has got quite a bit of fruit, and I'll just show you that one now. So this one is a dual apple tree. As you can see, there's quite a lot of fruit on this one to come. And on this side, some baby fruit there. So I am hopeful to get a few apples this year. Plenty of raspberries. The bees have been all over that. So I think we'll have plenty of raspberries this year too.
Hope you enjoyed that tour of my plot in May. Thanks very much for joining me at Nick's Allotment. I'll see you again next time.